I don't want to regain weight. I'm not so sure that I want to go back to a regular diet either. What if my cravings come back? I hear you, and I hear this a lot. These questions are totally valid. How do you eat for long-term success? Let's go beyond the surgery and look at 7 smart eating tips for bariatric success now and down the road. Don't go anywhere.
They're back. Calcium Dark Chocolate Bars, a ProCare Health customer favorite. Now available online at procarenow.com. Creamy chocolate plus calcium and vitamin D. You'll love them too. Use code SUSAN10 to save 10%.
I'm bariatric dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell, ex-radio dietitian turned podcaster. You're listening to the Bariatric Surgery Success podcast. Are you frustrated with all the confusion when it comes to nutrition? I get it. It's hard, isn't it, to decipher sound science from fake or pseudoscience. There's so much incorrect nutrition information, especially online. It's enough to make you give up and say, I don't know what to do. Well, I do. I know what to do. It matters where you get your nutrition information. When it comes to your bariatric surgery, nutrition is specific. So let's cut through the nonsense. Let's get what you need to know now. I created Bariatric Surgery Success to give you accurate nutrition information you can count on. Simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies that work. I want you to feel great every day and get out there and do the things on that bucket list. You're in the right place, friend. So let's get started. Do you receive my weekly newsletter called Breaking Down Nutrition? It's a quick way to keep up on nutrition for your bariatric lifestyle. You can sign up today on my website, breakingdownnutrition.com. You'll be the first to know about helpful nutrition tips and recipes, giveaways, product specials, and the latest and upcoming interviews that you don't want to miss. Again, that's Breaking Down Nutrition. The first 6 to 8 weeks after surgery, your diet morphs a lot. You started with clear liquids and you've progressed to a soft diet. You did it. Good for you. I'm very proud. Now you're ready to think about how you're going to eat for the long haul. Even if you're down the track a ways already, these tips will still apply to you. In fact, go with me through these tips and ask yourself if you've slacked off and need to tweak a bit. They're all about building a solid, unshakable foundation with food so your success is not just short term. You want an eating plan that lasts and changes your life. Your decision to have bariatric surgery was a big deal. It's not over after the first weeks of healing and constant tweaks in what you eat and drink. You've progressed and are now ready at this point to transition to a regular, healthy, balanced, and let's not forget, tasty way of eating. I mentioned tasty because food nourishes the body from a nutrition standpoint, but food also nourishes your soul, and it's about enjoyment of life, the time and the tasty meals shared with family and friends. You've had surgery, yes. You will eat less because of it, true, but you will still eat regular, nutritious foods that help provide your body with the A to Z nutrition and satiety, or that feeling of fullness. So let me say that again. Come close. This is important. You want to move forward from liquid meals and only soft foods. Why? Regular food helps prevent the weight regain you are worried about. Well, how? Regular food, especially those foods that contain protein and fiber, they're more filling and satisfying than liquids, so you feel full on less food. Did you miss that? You feel full on less food, especially when that food is a smart eating choice. And also equally important is that we're talking about the rest of your life here. Diets don't work. They never have. So learning to eat well and to make smart eating choices does. A bariatric diet is not a diet from the viewpoint of drop the T and on the word diet and you feel like you're going to die. My students, when I used to teach at the university, would always say, I hate diets. It's like you drop the T and I feel like I'm going to die. And I think that is so true. It doesn't matter what the diet is. Instead, it's a bariatric lifestyle, a lifestyle of behavior changes and tweaks in what you choose to eat so that you prevent that weight regain. And you eat real food that the rest of the family can and will eat. And you don't feel deprived. Real food, not diet food. So let's jump into these smart eating tips. Tip number 1. It's so easy to take big bites of food, and a habit most of us could benefit from changing. From this fresh beginning, I really want you to become aware of the size of your bites and make them smaller. Remember that mindful eating is paying attention to how much you eat and how you feel as you eat. It's learning to listen to your body, which is something most of us never learn to do. So it takes time, and that is okay. Most of us have never really listened to our bodies as we should, but it's never too late, never. Chew those bites and choose them well for a couple of reasons. It helps with digestion, plus you eat less. Chewing those bites well also gives your body a chance to signal when it's had enough, and for you to get that signal to stop eating when you're full versus stuffed. You want to chew, as bariatric dietitian Gail would say, almost to baby food consistency, especially since liquids are consumed 15 to 30 minutes before a meal or 30 minutes after. So this is easier to do if you sit down and you relax and enjoy your food versus a gulp and go, the typical American eating habit. Tip number 2, ditch the grazing. You know what I mean. Picking up food to munch on just because it's a bad day. Someone was a jerk at work and made you mad. Your favorite TV show is on, or some person made a rude remark that upset you. Unfortunately, in this world, these things probably won't stop happening. So how you respond becomes much more important. What matters is you and your success, period. The problem with grazing for all of us, or emotional eating as I call it, is that we tend to feel even worse after we eat to cover our emotions. Plus, what do you typically graze on? Tell me the truth. It's not lean chicken, it's not tuna, but it's more likely what? Cake, ice cream, some type of candy? Finding another outlet that doesn't involve food is critical here. Read a book, listen to music, listen to a podcast, take a shower, walk, call a friend. Just don't graze or emotionally eat. Tip number 3. Instead of grazing, I want you to divide your meal or in your food into 3 meals and 1 or 2 snacks, which will total somewhere between 900, 1,000, 1,200 calories or more per day. And notice, there's no one exact calorie level. This calorie need will depend on your physical activity level, your type of workouts that you're doing, your sex, your age, your surgery progress, and what your bariatric dietitian feels is right for you based on your personal health parameters. I've seen calorie levels be close to 2,500 or 3,000 a day for some men and women who lift a lot of weights and they work out hard. If this is you, a consult with a bariatric sports dietitian could be a smart idea. Tip number 4, eat your protein food sources first. Yes, please. Long-term success and the health of your body depend on adequate intake of protein today, tomorrow, and each day down the track from now on. Did you catch those last 3 words? What were they? From now on. One big reason to reach your protein intake each day is that protein supports your metabolism. or the rate at which you burn calories. The more muscle mass you have on your body, the higher your metabolism rate will be, and the more calories you will burn. So aiming for that 60 to 90 grams of protein per day or more, depending on your personal situation, is going to provide the amino acids in the protein to your muscle mass. These amino acids from the protein will be used for a myriad of processes where protein plays a role. We typically just think, okay, protein and feeling full and building muscle. But you know what? Protein does a lot more. It does maintenance of the body. It does formation of hormones, formation of enzymes, and the immune system antibodies to help your body function as it should. So getting that protein in first, so important. Remember, you're dividing this total amount of protein grams over the day. Each gram of protein contains 4 calories. So to help you plan, 60 grams of protein times 4 calories per gram is 240 calories. If you're eating 80 grams of protein times 4 calories per gram, that's 320 calories. And 90 grams of protein times 4 calories per gram would be 360 calories a day. When you have protein food sources at every meal and snack, you start to notice that you're not as hungry and you feel comfortably full on less food. Well, you might be wondering about high protein liquid supplements or liquid drinks or powders. So I recommend, whenever possible, meeting your protein needs with food for the reasons we just talked about, feeling satisfied particularly. But I also know on some days it's just not happening. And it can be difficult to get those grams of protein your body needs. So what about the drinks then? Protein drinks are convenient. They make up a good snack or a backup meal. So be aware they will help you meet your protein needs for sure, but you may not feel satisfied enough. So pay attention to your body's signals and see. By the way, I have a freebie guide on how to add protein to your diet. I'll put the link to this guide in the show notes if you want to grab it. And also, I've got several other links to prior podcasts that I think you'll find helpful as you're transitioning to regular foods, such as what to do if you can't poop, what happens if you get constipated. I've got a couple of those that I'll put in the notes. Also, can you really eat carbs? Absolutely, you can. Got a great podcast on that as well, and that will help you more as you're working to develop this long-term plan. Okay, tip number 5. Let's do a deeper dive on protein because it's so important. Not all protein sources are alike. Protein is made up of amino acids, which are often called the building blocks of protein. There are 9 essential amino acids we need from food. After bariatric surgery, your primary goal is to get high quality protein sources with these 9 amino acids so that you meet your nutritional needs. Your need for quality protein is and always will be high, while your need for calories is lower. There are many good protein sources from plants, but because of your need for high quality protein with all 9 essential amino acids and your need for lower calories and less carbs, animal-based proteins such as seafood and fish, poultry, beef, pork, eggs, and dairy, along with plant-based soy protein, are better choices. These high-quality protein sources are known as complete proteins because they contain all 9 of those essential amino acids your body needs in the right amounts. Don't miss those last 4 words, in the right amounts. Now, plant-based proteins such as lentils and split peas, beans, including pinto, blackened kidney beans, nuts, and seeds, are considered to be incomplete proteins. They're still good protein. They just lack 1 or more of those essential amino acids that your body needs. Yes, they contain protein, but they're higher in carbs. And they do contain the kind of carbs you want, called complex carbs with fiber. Nuts and seeds are high in fat, heart-healthy fat typically. So what to do? You still can work all of these in your diet as they are so nutritious, but with a close eye on portion size and grams of carb. So think of the protein in them as a bonus to the complex carb and fiber, which leads to tip number 6, choose smart carbs. I can hear you now. What? I can eat carbs? No way. Yes, you can. The smart ones I just mentioned, high in fiber, probably around 90 to 130 grams a day, depending on how far out from surgery you are and what your dietitian suggests. Remember that 90 to 130 grams of carbs is spread out through the day. Often at 6 months out, the carb suggestion will be around 90 grams a day, working up to 130 grams over a year down the track. However, this can vary with the surgery, so a carb discussion with your dietitian is one to put on your list. So smart carbs mean vegetables, fruit, whole grains, beans, and lentils that contain fiber and are referred to as complex carbs versus those empty calorie carbs that we mentioned above in grazing, the goodies we tend to reach for when we're stressed. And last but not least, tip number 7, focus on fluids always. 2 big reasons: to stay hydrated and to help prevent constipation. Not being able to poop after surgery is not on your bucket list, which is why fiber and fluids will always be important, just like protein for muscle mass. Do you remember your fluid needs? At least 8 cups, 64 ounces, or 2 liters a day. And when? Before and after meals, not at the same time, preferably. So here's what I want you to do this week. If you're multitasking, come back and listen closely. Whether you're just transitioning to regular food a couple of months post-surgery, or you're down the track a bit, need to reevaluate and tweak a few things, I want you to review these 7 tips. Think about what you need to do to put them into play in your life so you start from a point of strength and you build forward. Did you backslide some if you're down the road? Ask yourself what you need to do to get back into a position of power and control over what you eat. It's the key to your long-term success. I know this seems like a lot to learn, but you'll get it in no time. Think of it for what it is: healthy, delicious eating with a bariatric spin on it to go the long haul. Be good to yourself because you are worth it.
Bariatric Surgery Success with dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell is produced and owned by Practicalories, LLC. All rights reserved. Remember, the content provided on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't create a patient-provider relationship. It's intended to provide reference material and is not designed to provide medical advice. Please consult your healthcare provider regarding any medical issues you have relating to symptoms, conditions, diseases, diagnosis, treatments, and side effects. Podcast guests express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions which do not necessarily reflect or agree with the host, Dr. Susan Mitchell, or Practicalories, LLC.